It's very important at this point in time. Yes. The president needs support. This is a democratic government. Yes. When it comes to war, you need to mobilize support as much as possible. When Obasanjo went and cleared OD, the reason Obasanjo never suffered for it is because he informed a lot of people. He mobilized governors around him. And it was later people are now saying it's genocide, is this, is that. President know what to do. And by the time he will take that kind of action, they will not want another governor to be saying, oh, they are just killing our people. We have been hearing other kind of thing. Oh, we don't even need army here again. And even the president at a point, out of anger, said, if I withdraw my troop from that place within 2 hours, I know what is going to happen. He needs support. He needs to brief all governors. Not only governors, he needs to talk to us also. He needs to talk to everybody. He needs support after 911. President Bush, in fact, traveled down, mobilized everybody, hold hands together and pray with everybody. We are going to this war. And no, because if you don't give people hope, if you don't galvanize people's support, then you are going to fail at the end of the day. Because the same terrorists will use that one as propaganda against you. That's one. Two, military budget. Everywhere in the world, Nigeria will not be exceptional. No, because it's always a classified budget. CIA, you don't know how much they're spending every year. So also Nigeria. The only thing is that they always make sure to appoint somebody credible who will not get security vote and take all the money to his village. Yes. Today, some people have been alleging that our commanders that we are sending to this thing, also take them there for 3 months, they become multimillionaire. President must be ready to probe that. President must be able to understand the fact that where are you diverting all the money to? Two, we have to be dynamic on this war. You see, terrorists share something in common. If you look at the Osama bin Laden manual, they have passion for acquiring latest weapons. And we are dealing with committed, disciplined, motivated with religious agenda. Yes. Compared to our own soldiers, who of course some of them don't even get their allowance on time. They don't know what their commander is doing with their money. So we need to do something about that. And I overheard you before we enter that nobody will hold police, military responsible. Political office holder will be irresponsible. So it is important for them to be able to probe and get down to the root of that. The political administration of this war. You see, soldiers don't win war. Those who are carrying guns don't win war. You see, Ogunlana, was the brain behind the civil war, how they won civil war and everything. So the same thing over this issue. It needs to assemble people, intelligent people, politicians, and even from world of academics to see what they can do to be able to defeat Boko Haram. So that's my take on. And then finally, on the issue of the prediction you are talking about, well, I don't think it was a prediction per se. In intelligence analysis, we do what we call simulation. We can sit down and say, if these factors are not there, if you don't have this camera, if it's not working in the next 2 days, that means channels will not be on the And that was exactly what they started. And they did 10 years ago about Nigeria. That if you have this kind of corruption, if you have that kind of what you have, today, like I said the other time, President Jonathan inherited undisciplined, highly politicized military security and security agencies. So it takes time to train. But
he is the commander-in-chief, so he can do something about it.
It's going to take time. He's the commander-in-chief. Let me give if you read papers today, look at what happens to our intelligence community. During military era, what we train our intelligence officers to do is to be looking for those who want to organize school. And that thing has not changed up to today. And that's the reason they are concocting report, fake report. They may sit down here and now say, as I come to this place now, instead of telling the president the truth, I sat down here the other time about uprising over the issue of the fuel crisis the other time. That who are the intelligence chief who advised the president to do that at that point in time? So some people, instead of giving the same collectors, are the same analysts. Yes. And they always want to tell the president what he's going to hear. Today, I want
what he wants to hear.
What wants to hear. And at times they mislead him. Because they want to secure their job. I want to make sure that, okay, I want to be DG of this. I want to be this. So they don't even do their own work per se. Some of them, they don't even know what is going on. We are in 21st century where most of the team, which of course we do, you even get a lot of information through open source, intelligence. Some of them don't even know how to use computer. Some of them, they are even outdated. They don't even know what is going on around them. When you like now, coming back to what you said, is the responsibility of commander-in-chief to identify those who will be able to do the job and put them there. But again, he inherited a kind of police force, inherited a kind of intelligence collection agency, inherited military, which of course is highly politicized. And to now add everything together, politics. Politics, instead of everybody coming together and say, okay, we must do this, then politics come into it. Oh, it's because Jonathan is too weak. Oh, it's because Jonathan cannot handle things very well. We have to be very careful. Some of these statements embody Boko Haram, and they use it to their advantage.
And you mentioned information, communication with the other leaders as well as communication with the people. But sometimes the information that government gives us, we later find is not correct. Like, I'm referring specifically to the man Shekau himself, one of the BH leaders, whom we were told had been killed. Government came out and made a statement, categorical statement. And then Shekau now releases a video. I have not been killed. I'm very, very much alive.
Well, we have to get this right. It wasn't government that came out and said Shekau has been killed. It was army authority that came. As at that time, they
they represent government to us, don't they?
The army came and said, we've killed. And I think it's one of the reasons they removed the guy. He came, and also, it tells us we are still behind. We are still lagging behind in using technology. Before you come out and say, we've killed Shekau, where's the body? Do you take the DNA sample? Do you conduct all necessary things to be sure that Shekau has been killed? And also, you see, when it comes to this kind of war, I don't even know, up to today, nobody has been able to say that even the person that's talking is even really Shekau. Because the people we are dealing with also, they understand the game. So, because up to today, even the CIA, they could not even give the precise age of Shekau. They don't even know whether it's 38 or 45. They just know that where it's operating from. So it tells you that they may kill Shekau, another person will come today
and say, I'm
Shekau. Because even the Shekau, based on SCI report, that even Shekau, he doesn't even talk to all his members. He only pick about 3 commanders and give instruction to them. So how do we know it's not Shekau that has been killed? Now it's different from the case of Osama bin Laden. You are dealing with the most powerful country in the world that have equipment. They even flew into Pakistan without being detected by the radar. Nigeria will not have that kind of capability. But my own problem, coming back to what we can do, that is obvious. Can you estimate the number, the soldiers, foot soldiers of Boko Haram? I put them between 5,000 to 6,000 maximum. And then today we have nothing less than 150,000 standing army, Air Force, Grand Army, and Navy and everything, and special forces also, with kind of huge war chests in terms of finance, which of course we have. If today we won't even go with them conventionally, by now that Sambisa forest should have been brought down completely so that we can even be able to see them, where they are coming from. Today we should have been able to close. Somebody is recommending that when Obasanjo was fighting this cross-border thing, at a point he closed down the border. When he closed down the border, the Republic of Benin felt the impact that if Obasanjo will not open the border within 1 week, automatically it's going to affect the economy. Then they quickly cooperate. So the president and commander-in-chief should at this point in time even close our border between Chad and Cameroon. They cannot survive without Nigeria. They do businesses with us. If that border is closed, and Mr. President said, look, I want your cooperation, because that's part of the way of fighting terrorism. You need international cooperation. They have been crossing that Chad, crossing Cameroon. He has been using diplomacy. If they are not listening, if they are not using that diplomacy, there must be sanction. I'm closing that border until further notice. If you like, don't. And if possible, Nigeria is the military, we have military might to even enter. People are saying Bush did not wait for UN before he goes to Afghanistan. Yes. When it comes to matter of national security, when our security has been threatened, I will even recommend that the president should even send soldiers down to Cameroon if they don't have capability. Because we may look at, maybe they don't have capability to be able to confront these people, because they are afraid also that if you turn it against Boko Haram, they may turn against us. But Nigeria, as of today, we have that capability. Only what they need, our military men, is motivation. And we have to fight corruption to make sure that some of them, they get their allowances on time. We need to motivate them. We cannot send these soldiers, hungry people, to go and confront these people, where the commanders will be, their tummy will be becoming big, and those who are fighting, then they will be
getting lean.
So that's only what president needs to do. But to me, professionally, people have been able to assess all what President Jonathan has been doing, looking at his policy and doctrine on this counter-terrorism. He has been taking right steps. Where he has made mistake, he has been able to turn it back. But it's important also for him to be able to identify those who will be able to actualize, that agenda for him. That's the area.
Okay. Now, having said that, we've dwelt quite a bit on security. And we have to begin to, it is the main issue, but we have to begin to, yes, we have to begin to wrap up. But as part of the State of the Nation, Olashipoju, let me ask you, what's your thought about the National Conference?
National Conference. Since
the state of it now, because we've got limited time.
I understand, since we were students. During Babangida, we started campaign for National Conference. In fact, one was held at the National Theatre, where Babangida mobilized the army and scattered the place. But it has not gone. those who brought out the idea of national conference, they documented it. And they are still alive.
Okay, the one we have now.
The one we have now, I can't see a conference. What they are doing there is what NGOs are doing everywhere. Group people together, group discussion, come up with suggestions. The National Assembly, they are doing the same thing, talking, coming up with resolutions every day. If we combine all the resolutions of the National Assembly together, a lot of things being discussed at that national conference. I mean, I feel it is not it. It is just to divert attention, and it is a waste of enormous resources. And as I have been saying, it is illegal. Countries who have done national conferences, Uganda did it. They first promulgated a law that set up a commission to organize the national conference. As it's a law. The law is there. So under that law, by virtue of the promulgation of that law, then money can be appropriated in the budget for that purpose, and then the outcome of that effort has legal backing. Then you can say a body duly set up by law has produced this. And this is the purpose for which it was set up by law, and the purpose are achieved. So we have to use the product for the purpose already determined in that law. Up till now, I've not seen any law.
But then when you say
the money being used is not being doled out, you don't know.
But when you say that, you have so many senior advocates of Nigeria. Are you saying they're part of an illegality?
They are part of grand illegality. Let any of them come and tell me I'm a lawyer. They are lawyers. Let them come and convince me. Let them show me the law that set up that conference they are doing.
Okay, thank you very much. As we wrap up, what's your own thought? And I would like you to please focus a little bit on the fact that a lot of young people are complaining that they're not well represented within the demography or the constitution of that national conference.
Well, I would not want to toe the line of that, their complaint, and I would not want to discuss the legality of it, but at the same time, I want them to discuss this. There's a need for us to have a state police, because we've seen the limitation of that central security forces, which of course we have in Nigeria today. We've seen good people there. Some of my colleagues are there. Esenwa Nwagu is there. Yinka Odumakin, my senior comrade, all of them, they are there. Abacha called constitutional conference, but the Yaradua group went there and hijacked that from him. He wanted to use it for a purpose, but they went there and speak that to that. At the end of the day, where that paper has been sent somewhere today. Whether the presidency is having one ulterior motive or another listen today, but I know this confab that is going on now has also shifted our attention, the burden, that kind of pressure over the issue of security in Nigeria, because that's the only thing we'll be discussing. People have lost confidence in National Assembly. People have lost confidence in government themselves. But today, some people are still open. Somebody like me, still open that, okay, that constitutional conference, they will come out with something. Whether it's now left for the president to be able to, do that or not. And then the young people we are talking about, the president selected people. Power was not given to us to be able to select those who go and represent us. So I know out of those people that were selected, I can point to few people. Shifami Falana will definitely go there and speak on behalf of Nigeria. Olisa Bakoba will be there and say the same thing. He was former president of CLO and say the same thing we have been saying all this while. We have some former non-president who are there, which of course some of them will say the same thing we have been saying. It's now left for the president, to use that and inculcate that into what is going to be our constitution. But most importantly, because of the security problem, which of course we have in Nigeria today, there's a need for them to agitate for state police, decentralized power, at national level. We have been talking. All our governors, they call them CSO. Yes. They are not in control of police. They are not in control of anything. And it's not like that in advanced world, where we even took our federal system from. So the our members representing us in CONFAC should be able to discuss that, and even discuss about this youth unemployment. They should be able to discuss about system which, of course, will give us opportunity to be able to elect.
How do you discuss issues of youth unemployment when you don't have the youths there? Well, it's like what Abiola used to say, which is a Yoruba proverb, that shaving somebody's head in their absence is just not going to happen.
What I think compared to the kind of constitutional conference we have been having in the past, this is the first time we are even going to, have more. Today they have about 10 or 20 young people there. No.
They've got 18 people
18,
who are
18
under 35.
Combined with their
So you're
population.
saying it's an improvement on earlier...
It's an improvement. We have to keep, discussing. We have to keep discussing. I remember very well, even during Obasanjo's constitutional conference, he called one conference at that time.
Yes.
And they put a man of 60 years old to come and represent youth.
The youth.
And we have to take demonstration to make sure that Olusegun Ogunlana, who is a member of National State Assembly now, represent NANS at that forum. But today, maybe the president advises, and some of those people, I'm 44 now. I'm no longer a young person. Also, I'm a professional. So, and some of those people that even call young people, do you even check their age?
No,
so,
the people who are under 35 are the youths of today, and there's only 18 of them.
18 of them. So it's an
there.
improvement also. So that's an improvement also. So I must commend the president for that also. It's an improvement. But we have to keep talking. We have to keep speaking. And also, do they?
But the implication, I'm sorry to interject because we have to wrap up. The implication is they have had a press conference recently, I think it was yesterday, where they made it clear that all the committees, they're not in all the committees, and some of the critical ones, they're not. No, you would expect the number is not enough to go around all the committees.
Let me even tell you this. This keep my mind. We humbly blaming government. They told our people we are very to submit names. I thought my name would be there as a young man. But today, the youngest out of all the people representing our Federal is Yinka Odumakin, and Yinka Odumakin is at mid-50. So they send the name. They send the names down there. In fact, I know if they have their way also, they will remove Yinka Odumakin. But Yinka Odumakin saw somebody you can't toy with him. Now these are the people that submitted names, and at times we blame president.
You're actually pointing now the fault in that setup. It
Now,
was not democratic.
even governors,
People
submitted the names of those who will die tomorrow.
Select.
Those who will die tomorrow. Those who will die tomorrow, they submitted their names to go and represent us. So that's the reason they're asking for money allowances for their driver, for their PA, for all this. If I'm there, I will not need PA. I will not need anybody to tie my computer.
Look, that you are actually predicting the failure of that conference. It was
Gentlemen,
not represented, not democratic, nothing. You just select another jamboree.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. There are a number of other issues we would have loved to discuss on this segment of the show, but we're going to have to keep it till another time. So we want to say thank you to Dario Ogunlana, security expert, and Olashipo Ojo, legal practitioner who's had shared their time and their thoughts with us on this program this morning. Sunrise will now take a short break. When we come back, we have another very interesting conversation coming your way. So grab a cup of tea as usual and stay with us.